Hey guys, welcome back to another clip of Schach-manuel-lernen. Today from the Swiss National Championship of the Railway Employees. As I updated you by the recap, I played a tournament that was especially for people which are playing chess in a railway company. And about this tournament, I want to show you now the first round. So I had the black pieces and I played against c4, g3, bishop g2. So I decided to play the hippo opening, which is this double fianchetto of the bishops. Here I did it a bit differently because he didn't choose a setup with e4 and d4, which means if I would play now b5, he has something like knight d5 already. So we need to take care about his tactical aspects. So rook b8, I played that because white played rook b1 in order to encounter maybe b4 with b5, and as well to going out of this diagonal. Short castle h6, b4 short castle, queen c1, attacks the h6 pawn, king h7, and after a4 I decided, okay, I play f5 because I need to take care about the center, because if I do nothing he will just play this pawn march. So after e4, knight e5, I had to calculate two options. First one is when he captures, and I recapture, and after b5, capturing here is not the best move because he can capture here. And then, I stuck a bit with this two pawns, but it will be an interesting game. This is something I had to calculate. He can also play queen c2, and I have now this outpost square and this backwards pawn, but my pawns are not really good and he can play f4 quite easily. So it's an interesting position. What he played was knight to e1, and here I had to calculate what happens if he plays f4. Because after f4 he takes over the center, so I had to deal with that. And the right way to deal with that, what I saw, is that we capture the pawn. Because if he captures with the pawn back, we can capture his pawn, and then we are just winning a pawn. Which means he's not allowed to recapture with the pawn, but either with knight or bishop, but then he lost a bit control of the center. So he decided to capture with the knight. Then I played d5, capture, capture, and now suddenly I'm more active in the center than white. Knight to c5, b6, knight b3, and now I played bishop f5, attacking this pawn. He needs to defend it. There's only one way, because if he defends it with queen c3, I have this discovery check, which wins the queen. So queen c2, then I could have played knight c4, which uses this pin, and that I attack the bishop and try to get the bishop here. I made it quite similarly. I just played beforehand queen d7, and then the mistake appeared, knight c1. He should have played bishop c3 in order to challenge my bishop here. He played knight c1, then I played knight c4 using this pin. And now bishop c3, but the difference is now I can play d4, and after bishop d2, I can capture the bishop pair with the idea of knight d5 and maybe knight c3. So b5, capture, capture, rook e8, knight f3, bishop h3. Like here, I wanted to have a king's attack, something like this, knight f4 with the rook here. And here, white decided to trade the queens. It's understandable that when you're under pressure, you try to exchange the queens. But here the problem is what we saw, it will lose a pawn at the end, but you need to calculate that beforehand. And otherwise it looks quite scary for white because I also have knight c3, so I can always decide where to go with my knight. And yeah, after queen c6, I captured. And then rook e6 attacks the pawn, which means he needs to defend it, or he gives a counterattack. The problem is just after rook c2, I can play this move, and suddenly I attacking the knight, and if he captures like that, if you want to improve your tactical knowledge, you can pause here. But yeah, I have here this wonderful knight e3 check. Because it doesn't matter what he do, he will lose material. Like if he captures like that, I will win this. If he goes away with the king, I can simply capture there. So that's why he decided to play knight b3, counterattack. Now we're not capturing the pawn, but we play with the same idea, rook e to f6, attacking this knight, and with this knight fork idea. And after this capture, you can pause again for tactical ideas. We can capture the knight, sacrificing temporarily an exchange. And after capture, we can capture the rook. Now we are a piece up, and the rest is quite easy to play. Rook f6. Yeah, rook here. I just played rook d6 now. I'm not going with the knight away because otherwise he can establish d5. So rook to d6, bishop e5, king to g7, and yeah, a couple of moves. And after b5 he resigned. So it was a great start in the tournament for me. The key point, of course, was here the queen exchange, and then afterwards this small move, rook e to f6 with unstoppable material win. So with this instructive game, I wish you a wonderful weekend, stay healthy, and see you soon, guys.